Hello, party people. Welcome back to my channel. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you find any value in the video. If you don't like the video, feel free to give it a dislike. So, in today's video, we will be discussing how sometimes we end up being the villain in a made-up story. A lot of life is very open to interpretation. People interpret things differently. And so one person may view a situation completely different than the other person. And a lot of the times that means that what really happened in any given situation that we were ever a part of, the way other people perceive us after the fact isn't always based in reality. So to break that down, a lot of the times we're going to have people spread false allegations about us. We're going to have them spread rumors about us. They're going to say things that just never happened or didn't happen the way that they interpreted them. And oftentimes that's going to be very hard on us. For example, let's just say that you were divorced and your ex-wife spreads rumors about you, says that you're a abuser, a pedophile, whatever she can say to get her hands over your mentality, right? Whatever she can do to get to you, whatever she can do to manipulate the court system, things that are not true, things that never happened, things that could really harm your reputation. And oftentimes it does harm our reputation, and we don't know how to handle it. We go, what am I supposed to do when false allegations or rumors or gossip is spread about us? And it's kind of a hard question to answer, but there are a few things that you can do if you want to make sure that you have the best chance of getting out of this unscathed. Number one is you want to always live up not to your reputation, because your reputation is being slandered, but you want to supersede that. Despite all the evil things that are being said about you, you are who you are. You're not who they say that you're not who they say you are. You are who you actually are. So if someone's saying that you're an abusive dad, if they're saying that you're a violent person, if they're saying that you are a liar, a cheater, a manipulator, but in reality, you know that that's not the truth. You've come to accept that the things being said about you, they're just not true. After all the gaslighting, after all the things that you were told about yourself, the narrative that people created about yourself, if you want to overcome that, you can't stoop to the level of your reputation. You have to rise to the level of your true character. So if you're being called abusive, but you still have custodial rights of your children, for an example, never abuse your children. Always be a calm, fair, loving parent, because no matter what the world says about you, there is a truth. And the truth may not always come out, but it's far more likely to come out if you don't fall to the level of your accusations. Never let them control and dictate your behavior so that you prove their point. Number two, don't spread false allegations in return. I've seen some people say, if someone's falsely accusing you, falsely accuse them back. But one thing that you really need is, maybe you don't have a good reputation, but you do have, at least if you're telling the truth, you have credibility. Whether that credibility is seen by the public yet, or whether it's going to be seen, let's say, in a court of law, or let's just say down the line when your children find out who you really are. Because one day your children or your family or the people who were told false stories about you, the ones who really matter, because the other ones don't matter. So their opinions, they don't matter. But the people whose opinions really matter, they're going to either, number one, stand by you in the moment, and they're going to allow you a place to speak the truth, and they're going to take your word at face value, and they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt regardless of what's being said about you. But no matter what, your word means something. And if you start tainting your word, if you start degrading your character and tarnishing your trustworthiness just so that you can slander back someone else, you are never going to make this work. Number three, if it's a situation where you need to seek legal help, please seek legal help. Do not put yourself in a room with a person who lies about you, spreads gossip about you, could claim that you did it again. Whatever it is, you did it again. Always make sure that you're protecting yourself in a legal manner if it is to that degree. And if it's just slander, make sure that you always go with a camera. If you're going anywhere, go with a camera. I know it's extreme. If you have to interact with the people that you are being falsely accused by, people who tell the world that you're a dragon and that they're the princess being locked up in the tower, that's not happening. And so your word means a lot. And they may manipulate some people, they may trick some people, but they're not going to trick everyone. So make sure that your word matters. Make sure that you're seeking legal counsel. Make sure that if you need an attorney, you get an attorney. Make sure that if you don't need an attorney yet, that you're prepared for if you need one, by having video, by having audio, by not going into places alone with that person, not trusting that if they accuse you once, that they won't accuse you twice, because they will. People who accuse once falsely are going to accuse you until they get their way, because you're an object in their mind. So never go back to a situation where you could be slandered and then forgive and then be slandered again. Have some strength. Break free of the cycle. Realize that you're a victim, but that you don't have to play the victim. Because once you realize that you're in control of your behavior, you don't have to fight fire with fire. You fight fire by getting out of the window, right? That's the biggest thing, is escape the danger first. Once you've escaped the danger, get other professionals to help you. That would be your legal counsel. Next thing is, don't tarnish your legacy or give a false police report or do any of those things. Make sure that you are who you say you are. Because like they say, if you stop telling lies about me, I'll stop telling the truth about you. Don't try to defend yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. There are going to be people who don't want to hear your innocence. They don't want to hear that they don't want to hear what you have to say. You could say everything right. You could speak with logic. You could bring evidence to the table. You could put God in their hand and they'd still be an atheist, because they're not listening. So the fact of the matter is that there are dangerous people out there in the world that will say things about you that aren't true. But if you allow them to make it true, that's a problem. So there is a thing called reactive abuse. There's a thing that, and this has been my situation. A lot of this I'm speaking from experience, but my situation, I stooped to the level of the people who I was surrounded around. And they're terrible people. And they're people with low character, low morals, and vicious, viperous tongues that would say anything that got them their way, right? And if you're in a situation like that, if you allow yourself to be that kid on the playground who keeps getting hit, but then punches back and they get caught and they're the only one that get caught, that's called reactive abuse, right? So if you're being so frustrated by your environment, so frustrated that you can't control your temper because you're so pissed off all the time, because you're always going to be invalidated, you're always being manipulated, you're always being gaslit, and you know something's wrong, but your body is telling you and screaming at you to get out, but you're choosing not to because you don't know what the next step is, you need to take a leap, because the only other thing that's going to happen is you're going to become exactly what they say you are. You are going to be what they say you are if you're in a situation where you're out of character. So don't allow yourself to be pushed out of character. And sometimes that's by setting boundaries. Sometimes that's by leaving the situation. Sometimes that's by, if you're a father, you need to get out of the home, go get a temporary order so that you will see your children. But make sure that you're not staying in a situation where you get pushed to your absolute breaking point and then you break. And then they use that against you because they've been pushing you. They've been going, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you for so long. But you know that they were touching you. You know that they were doing everything that you said they were, or they're just up to your nose, just up to your nose. They won't cross the line. It's covert abuse. Covert abuse doesn't come across like bullying, you know? Covert abuse comes across like passive aggression. Covert abuse comes when things are private. Or by playing the victim. They will play the victim to make sure that you feel like you're the bad guy. And they will ruin your entire ability to recognize them for who they truly are. And they'll ruin your ability to recognize you for who you truly are. And that's what matters most. If you can recognize yourself for who you truly are, and not for who they think you are, you might escape a situation and you might get yourself to safety and help. So obviously a lot of these things I've been talking about pertain to men. If you've been falsely accused, or if you've been lied about, or if there's been rumors, or if there's been threats or coercion or manipulation, or if you've been treated like you're a criminal because maybe you actually are a criminal. Maybe you hit a windshield of the car. Maybe you hit a windshield of a car and you went to jail because you were so frustrated by the situation that you were in that your body couldn't do anything but swing at the wall. It's not okay to swing at the wall. It's not okay to hit a car. It's not okay to beat up someone. It's not okay to scream at people. It's not okay to be abusive. But I understand. I understand why you got to that point. You probably understand a lot of why you got to that point, but you don't know how to get out of the situation. You got to get out. You're a victim. You don't have to act like a victim. You're going to act like a man. You're going to act like you have some accountability over your life, and you're going to get out of that situation no matter how much it hurts and how hard it is. You're going to scratch, claw, and fight, and you are going to get out of that situation because you are a victim, but you are not going to act like a victim. You're going to act like a person with power. Because sure, you have a lot of responsibility when you have power. Heavy hangs the head that wears the crown. If you want to be a king in this life, sometimes you got to get out of the peasant mindset. Because sure, wearing the crown is nice and fancy, but it also requires a weight on your shoulders. And doing the right things in this world is very hard, but you could do it. And if you do it, you'll be proud of yourself in the end. Never let small-minded people destroy your light, because you are light. You have a lot of value. And if I'm speaking to you, start speaking to me or someone else who can help you, because you matter. So I don't care what the world says. I don't care what your reputation has been tarnished as. I don't care what you're going through. You can make it out of this, but you can't make it out of this by doing the same things and allowing whatever you're going through to be accepted. You are not the villain. The story is made up. You may be the villain in a made up story, but it's not a real story. Never let people treat you like an animal and then you bite them like an animal. We don't reactively abuse. If you're in a situation where you don't feel safe, you can't express yourself, you don't feel healthy, you feel like you're going to explode, either that's a you problem or that's a them problem. But that is not normal. What you're going through is not normal. Don't kill yourself. Don't hurt yourself. And don't hurt other people. You have no choice but to move forward with optimism and swift action, because you're not safe. You need to get yourself to safety before you can do anything. If this video helped you, or if it's going to help someone that you know, you need to go ahead and share it with them. Even if you just tell them watch from 13 minutes to I guess we're at 13 minutes, but watch from 10 minutes to 13 minutes if they don't want to watch a whole 14-minute video. But like, comment, and share so that this video can reach more victims of situations that could be harming them. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. You're loved by someone, so don't let them down, okay? Don't let the people down who truly matter, especially not so that you could please someone who doesn't matter at all, or you can explain yourself to someone who's a piece of garbage, okay? You guys are awesome. You got this.